I won't lie, I've always had a dream of being an elite traveler. Platinum, Diamond, Executive Premier, call it what you may, the chance to board early, skip the lines, and possibly have a seat that reclines more than an inch sounds like the ideal situation. It's an opportunity usually afforded to business travelers. The casual explorer typically won't make trips that earn the status. It all comes down to miles flown, and most locations are closer than you think. There is one, though, that might at least put you on the map. Today we'll be exploring Hong Kong and Macau. At a total flight time of almost 18 hours from Denver with a connection in San Francisco, it's one of the furthest destinations you can reach on a plane. To note, Singapore to Newark is currently the longest commercial flight at just under 19 hours. How do you pass the time? Movies and a good book. Oh, and lots of snacks. On the outskirts of town, you'll arrive at Hong Kong International Airport, move from its former location, Kai Tak, which was in the heart of the city. Look up images of planes landing at the former airport, and you'll see why the move was so important. Hong Kong is a massive city. With over 7 million people, it's one of the most densely populated cities in the world. It's split between the island of Hong Kong, more of a downtown business area, and the Kowloon side, the more densely populated area. Hong Kong was ruled under different Chinese dynasties for most of its existence. The land came under British rule after the Opium Wars of the 1800s. The Emperor didn't want opium, but Britain did. Hong Kong was ceded to Britain in 1842. HSBC, one of the world's largest banks, was founded to support the area. HSBC standing for Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. After the Second Opium War, the British ended up leasing land on the Kowloon Peninsula, a 99-year lease beginning in 1898 for the area surrounding Hong Kong, known as the New Territories. This is very important to Hong Kong's future. While the island of Hong Kong was British territory, the area surrounding it was not. In 1984, Britain decided to return all the land to China in exchange for a promise of a one-country, two-system rule. On July 1, 1997, control was transferred, and for 50 years Hong Kong will rule itself in a more independent fashion from mainland China. Cantonese is the primary language, Buddhism and Taoism the primary religions. Everywhere you go, you'll find lots of temples. Our favorite experience were the markets. Every part of the city has its own market or district for specialized shopping needs. There was a market for pets, birds, districts for funeral, medicine, and electronics, and by far the best, a flower market. The city is highly built up and dense, making other cities look sparse by comparison. Living arrangements can be compact, as seen with some of the public housing from the 1960s. Buildings like this, nicknamed the Monster Building, surround you. Even light has a hard time reaching the street. Some of the world's tallest buildings exist here. One of their more iconic buildings, the Bank of China Tower, at 1,205 feet to the mast, has roots right here in Denver. I.M. Pei, the building's architect, had some of his earliest commissions in Colorado. The National Center for Atmospheric Research, or NCAR in Boulder, the Sheraton Hotel and Mile High Center in Denver, even the 16th Street Mall was designed by his associate, Fred Kopp. Across the bay in Kowloon, you'll find the tallest building in the area, the International Commerce Tower at 1,588 feet with 118 stories. For comparison, the Willis Tower, formerly known as the Sears Tower, stands at 1,450 feet. What's incredible is that bamboo is still used as scaffolding and is seen throughout the city. At 1,811 feet, the tallest point on Hong Kong Island is Victoria Peak. I've heard no building can be taller than this point. Victorian residents would go up to the peak to escape the heat of the city, having locals carry them up in sedan chairs. Thankfully today there is a funicular that will take you to an observation point with some of the most amazing views of the city, and it still is a wonderful opportunity to escape the heat. We took a day trip to Macau, another special administrative district in the region. Macau is known as the Vegas of Asia. About 1 hour by high-speed ferries, they've recently completed a bridge that connects the two, and it's an incredible engineering sight to see. Macau was formerly a Portuguese colony until 1999. It was one of the first European territories in Asia, with a Portuguese rule of 442 years. Walking around, you would think you're in Europe. Portuguese food is common at many of the restaurants. The area is most well known for gambling. First legalized in the 1850s, today it brings in 7 times the revenue of Las Vegas. Originally, gaming licenses were held by one company. Most of this is seen in Old Macau. In 2002, this monopoly ended and more licenses were awarded. Many of the most popular Las Vegas casino companies, MGM, Sands Corporation, and Wynn, started building here. Construction of the Cotai Strip on 2 square miles of reclaimed land creates a completely different experience. If you're a fan of Las Vegas, it's similar to the dynamic of downtown Vegas compared to the Strip. Vegas is one of our default destinations. It's a quick flight, and while we aren't really gamblers, it's a fun city to relax in. While similar in design, Macau didn't really have the same feel. It was definitely busy, but had a much quieter atmosphere. It was unique in its own right, still an opportunity I wouldn't pass up. Hong Kong has by far the most activity going on of any city we've ever been to. It's easy to be swept up in a crowd of people as you attempt to navigate shops, ferries, subways, and streets. It's teetering in a new world as it attempts to determine its place in a transitioning government. It continues to be a center for business, commerce, and culture, a destination that should be on anyone's bucket list. And don't worry, we couldn't forget a few pictures of the cats we met. Thanks for joining us again today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. We look forward to sharing another destination with you soon.